good? It's your boy, Donster Boy Reacts. We coming at you with a reaction video, man. And I seen this right here, and I'm gonna react to this. It says the 12 craziest beefs in the last 10 years for the NBA. Let's see what beefs they got on here, man. Let's get into it.
Isaiah Thomas hating Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
and Bird's feud with Bill Laimbeer. But what about beef
Bird and Bill Laimbeer.
in the modern NBA? There have been plenty of confrontations in the last decade. And in this video, we'll go over the craziest beefs in recent memory.
NBA superstar Kevin Durant stunned the sports world yesterday after announcing that he's going to be leaving the Oklahoma City Thunder to join the Golden State.
Tragic, man. When I heard about this, yo, I was so mad because I was a doggone Thunder fan, man. I was in with them boys, man. Them boys could have took it. I still believe them boys would have took that thing, man, if they would have stayed together. But things happen. Well, this shouldn't have happened, but it happened. And how do you go to the team that just mollywop you, bro?
Warrior. It was 2016 when Kevin Durant left Oklahoma City for a team that just defeated him in the playoffs.
No, not defeat. Mollywop. Mollywop. They came back down a deficit and mollywopped them. Like they didn't win nothing. Mollywopped them. Get it right.
And he didn't say anything to his partner in crime, Russell Westbrook.
And that's what made it worse, bro. He didn't say nothing. He just left.
Russ felt betrayed, which inspired him to make a commercial about it. Some run.
I remember that.
Some make runways. But if Russ hated Durant, the entirety of Oklahoma City hated him even more.
Oh,
and when
yeah.
Durant first came back wearing a different jersey, the hostility was palpable. Every time KD touched the ball, people booed. And there were hundreds of insulting banners, most notably calling Durant a snake and a cupcake. And when Russ and KD got into an argument in the middle of the floor, the roof in the arena nearly exploded. And then, just a few months later, Westbrook and Durant were teammates again, both representing the Western All-Stars. Durant was even trying to make amends, but Westbrook refused to give him any attention. During the game, Russ and KD finally connected for an alley-oop, which caused a sigh of relief for their teammates and the whole arena. But this brief moment of happiness was short-lived.
That's all that happened. Just too loud. It's basketball. That's it.
In their second matchup that season, when Enes Kanter went to speak with Durant, Russ went berserk.
Chris is going to have to step in sooner or later as these former star teammates jawing at each other.
However, over the years, this beef cooled off, and Durant and Westbrook are back to being friends. But that's not something we can say about James.
I did not know that. Yeah, that's what's up. We gotta forgive and forget, man. I got over it too, but I have not became a fan, like a team fan, since Oklahoma was my team at the time. And when that left, I was more of a Westbrook fan than a Thunder fan. But I still was a little bit of a Thunder fan. But when he left, that was it. I was like, I ain't no fan no more. Because two of the people I enjoyed watching on that team left. I really never was a James Harden fan, so that didn't really bother me. But yeah, so I ain't really been a fan since. I think I'm going to pick a team this year, but I've never really been a fan of a team since, that was 2016? Since 2016, so yeah.
James Harden and Daryl Morey. For the past decade, the marriage between the Beard and his general manager seemed perfect. But in the end, the divorce resembled Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's. See, back in 2012, Morey was the one who insisted on bringing Harden to Houston. He set up the entire roster around his favorite player and his silky skill set, greatly popularizing the three-point revolution we're seeing today. Harden had all the benefits that a superstar could
Wait, what?
get. Three-point revolution around his favorite player and his silky skill set, greatly popularizing the three-point revolution we're seeing today.
Wait, what?
Harden and his silky skill set, greatly popularizing the three-point revolution we're seeing today.
don't know about that, bro. Wasn't it, Steph?
Harden had all the benefits that a superstar can get. He was the sheriff, the mayor, the president, everything.
I love this city. I literally done everything that I can. I mean, this situation is crazy. You know, it's something that I don't think can be fixed. So
But when the ring eluded the Rockets, the Beard fled to Brooklyn. When it didn't work out there, Daryl Morey grabbed him and reunited with James. After his first season in Philadelphia, Harden took approximately $14 million less than what he was supposed to get with a player option, so the team could sign veteran forward P.J. Tucker. From the outside, it looked like a noble move from Harden, but don't be fooled.
Those fake ads really drive you mad, huh? The game looks so fun in the ads, but when you...
James and Morey had an agreement in principle that would sign Harden for a maximum deal in the next offseason, worth over $200 million.
Wow.
But a lot can happen in a year. After the Sixers suffered an embarrassing loss to the Celtics in the 2023 playoffs, with Harden playing poorly in clutch moments,
That boy was getting 200 mil, man. I was supposed to get 200 mil.
of the series, many people wondered if Harden still deserved a max deal. And those same questions were bothering Morey, who had two options. He would either stay loyal to Harden and honor his word, or he'd do his job and stay responsible for the long-term benefit of the 76ers, who would potentially be stuck with a bad contract and very little flexibility. In the end, Morey did his job and screwed Harden over, not offering him an extension. Of course, Harden was disappointed and angry, asking for a trade. But as the trade options were very slim, James had to show up for the Sixers training camp, where he expressed his absolute disgust for the GM.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
It appears James Harden has gotten his wish.
Sources told ESPN overnight the Sixers agreed to a complicated deal, sending Harden to the LA Clippers.
Ultimately, his wish was granted, and he got traded to the Clippers.
That's why that boy got traded to the Clippers.
But it's safe to say that he'll never earn $200 million from an NBA contract again.
Next question.
However, this is not the only notable Harden beef. Before his dispute with Morey, he hated somebody else, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Back in 2018, these two were in the middle of a fierce battle for MVP. Giannis had played one of the most versatile seasons in NBA history, averaging 28, 12, and 6, with over a steal and a block per game, and shot 58% from the field. On the other hand, there was Harden, who had arguably the best scoring season ever, apart from a couple of guys named Wilt and Michael. The Beard averaged 36 points, 6 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, including a streak of 32 games with 30 points or more. However, the MVP went to Giannis, and naturally Harden was disappointed, making several comments about the injustice he suffered. But the actual beef started the next season, with a little help from Charles Barkley.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, you don't want the dribbler?
I want somebody that's going to
That dog on Charles Barkley, bro. Call that man a dribble.
pass the ball. That's what I want.
Giannis Antetokounmpo makes a joke on the air about, I want to take someone who can pass. I'm taking Kemba Walker instead of James Harden.
I was more assist than him, I think. I don't see what the choke is. But I didn't even see it. You know, I don't pay attention to stuff like that. I just know none of them can mess with me.
But while this was lighthearted banter, Antetokounmpo took it up a notch when he played against the Rockets.
Offensively, we were just trying to, find whoever James Harden was guarding. That's who we thought we were going to have the opportunity to score on.
Now it became personal, and Harden had to give a rebuttal.
But I wish I could just run in with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball, how to have skill, I take that any day.
Another pair of current All-Stars had a very
Wow. Oh boy, said you gotta have so. Wow.
fun beef. And thankfully,
Wow.
this one happened on the court and not just through the media.
Not
In
Luka
the
and
2022
Bull.
playoffs, the Phoenix Suns took a 2-0 lead against the Mavericks. And when the reporters asked about Luka's defense and targeting him in the pick and roll, Devin Booker and Chris Paul looked at each other and laughed. But Luka soon proved that mocking him wasn't such a good idea, as Dallas won the next 2 games and tied the series. But the Suns didn't learn.
It's very ironic that happened this past playoffs.
And they had to do it again. In
Yeah.
Game 5 of the series, the Suns were winning the game when Devin Booker drove to the basket and got fouled, after which he rolled all over the floor and mockingly named this move. After the game, as he was walking out of the tunnel, Luka shouted out Michael Jordan's famous phrase. And Luka was always the one to back up his trash talk. The Mavs won Game 6 in a blowout. But it was only a teaser to an incoming storm. For Game 7 in Phoenix, where the Suns had won every game of the series, they suddenly couldn't buy a bucket. The Suns ended the first half with a 30-point deficit, and Luka scored as many points as the entire Suns team.
Dang.
Before the end of the third quarter, Phoenix was down by 46 points.
Jason Kidd, Luka, and Spencer Dinwiddie has sucked all the energy out of this building.
It was the biggest embarrassment the NBA has ever seen in a Game 7, and Booker had to eat a big slice of humble pie.
What's your relationship like right now with Devin Booker?
However, that wasn't the end. On March 5th, 2023, the rivalry was reignited as Booker and Doncic got face-to-face once more. After Luka missed the potential game-tying layup late in the game, Booker started to trash-talk Luka, and teammates had to separate them from fighting.
It's fine. It's just competitive game, man. It's all good. Just next time, don't wait till it's 3 seconds left to talk.
And if there's anyone in the NBA who talks for the entire game, Dillon Brooks is definitely
This dude right here, man.
only one of those players, and one of the biggest NBA villains. A guy who gets in people's faces, trash talks, and taunts. But back in 2021, he was the one getting taunted by none other than LeBron James. After he made several clutch shots over Brooks, the King gave him a too small gesture, and the Canadian swingman never forgot it. 2 years later, after a game where he and several of his teammates nearly got into a fight with Shannon Sharpe, Brooks was in a revengeful mood, bragging about guarding LeBron. He doesn't want to go left. I was just making him go left all game. Then he would settle or he would pass the ball. But this was just a prelude of more beef to come. As the 7th seed...
Why would you do that to one of the greatest players that ever played the game, bro? Why would you...
The Lakers advanced through the play-in to play the Grizzlies, Brooks was brimming with confidence. I don't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series and knocking him out right away. And after a great performance in Game 2, where he bothered LeBron all night and helped the Grizzlies win, Brooks was again feeling himself.
I don't care, he's old. I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40. He's LeBron James. But, you know, I'm on that floor, you're just another player to me. I don't care who you are.
Rooms loads a
Oh
complete
my
serving
God.
of fruits, veggies, adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms,
Brooks said with a deadpan stare, but he didn't stop there.
He's not at the same level as he was when he was on Cleveland, when he won championships, man.
Wow.
As usual, James didn't make a comment, but instead, he made a fool out of Brooks on the floor, who got ejected after a flagrant 2 on LeBron, after which he declined to speak to the media. And in Game 4, James made several clutch baskets over Brooks, again proving that he's the last player you should trash talk to. And Dillon again refused to talk to the press. But the biggest slap in Brooks' face came in Game 6, which the Lakers won by 40 points, sending Brooks and the Grizzlies home.
Like, why would you trash talk like one of the greatest players? Why? Man, if I was on that team, bro, I would have told dude, man, shut up.
And after Brooks got the 40-piece he was wishing for, LeBron added insult to injury with a funny Instagram post. So it's probably better not to mess with LeBron, which Draymond Green found out the hard way. Since he entered the NBA, Draymond has had beef with more than a dozen players. Early in his career, it was Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. But his latest and current ongoing feud is with Rudy Gobert. Early in the 2024 season, Dre got ejected for choking Gobert, after which he also received a 5-game suspension from the NBA. Draymond is now a part-time NBA player and a part-time president of the Rudy Gobert Hate Club, as Green takes every single opportunity to bash Gobert on Inside the NBA.
Big Frenchman is sitting on that podium, speaking his native language. We need to do this. You need to get a stop. Rudy Gobert is getting cooked.
And he celebrated when Doncic scored the game winner over
I'm good.
Gobert in the conference finals, and trash-talked his defense against the Joker the series before.
Rudy sucks, not me. What I do? Again? I didn't do anything. What are you going at me for? You did it to them, not me. You know,
I can't guard. I mean, nobody can guard Jokic, but
I disagree. I disagree.
Maybe Draymond needs a reminder that Jokic gave him 31 points per game on 57% shooting when he guarded him in the playoffs. And it wouldn't be surprising if Gobert got into it with Green in the future. But there's another European center that had beef with Draymond's good friend, LeBron James. Enes Kanter got into it with LeBron on several instances. When the Turk was a member of the Knicks, Kanter didn't like James's comments on rookie Frank Ntilikina, suggesting that New York should have drafted Dennis Smith Jr. instead. And when they faced off later that season, it was exactly Ntilikina, Kanter, and Bron who ended up in an on-court scuffle. After LeBron's Cavaliers won that game, LeBron taunted Kanter on Instagram, saying that he was the king of New York.
Well, I'm the king, my wife is the queen, and my daughter is the princess, so we got all three covered.
Later that season, when LeBron got ejected for the first time in his career against the Heat, Kanter immediately trolled James with his famous hashtag, #Strive for Greatness. He later repeated this tweet several times whenever James had a bad game. But that wasn't the end of it. When LeBron failed to provide comments on Daryl Morey and the subsequent NBA ban from all Chinese media platforms, that didn't sit well with Kanter. Enes tweeted money over freedom, criticizing James and his lack of involvement in social issues, something Kanter has been very vocal about, especially involving the problems in his own country.
If you want to have a real conversation, you know where I live, you know what city I'm in, just come here and we can have a conversation.
Sure, I'd love to sit down and talk to him. I'm sure it's going to be a very uncomfortable conversation for him. I don't know if he's educated enough, but I'm here to educate him. And I'm here to help him because it's not about money. It's about morals, principles, and values. It's about what you stand for. And we can't talk about NBA beef without mentioning Patrick Beverley, who had feuds with seemingly everyone in the NBA. Pat's first notable beef was with Russell Westbrook, who suffered a season-ending knee injury in the first round of the 2013 playoffs, when Beverley collided with him in an attempt to steal the ball. After this, they never saw eye to eye and got into multiple scuffles and shouting matches on the floor, and it lasted for years. In 2019, Westbrook mocked Beverley and his defensive reputation.
Pat Bev trick you on, man, like you play defense. Run about him edges, like running around, doing nothing. Oh yeah, he was talking about he was first team on defense.
He said that, but don't be doing that. He just run around. he said Pat Bell tricked everybody. He don't be doing nothing on defense, but just run around. Yo, I've been saying that. I've been saying that for the longest, bro. I don't see how he one of the best defensive players. I don't see it, but I'm just a regular guy, so
Well, I didn't know what the hell he was talking because I had 42 at the time. I don't know what he talking about. Maybe he was dreaming of some. I don't know.
But now it shocked me because he said, you looked up and said, no, I'm guard me. I got 40 points. I'm like, that's nice. 34 shots to get it.
But Pat Bev didn't rest there.
But he still had 40 though. So what defense, like when you say you play defense, you're a defensive person. A person shouldn't get 40 on you. You should get like 10, 15. Okay, I'm confused.
And he feuded with other all-star players at his position, namely Chris Paul and Damian Lillard.
People don't understand. Me and Chris, what we have has been going on since I was in high school. You push him, whoa. You know Chris, man.
Pat hated CP3 for years, ever since he was in high school, and that energy spilled over to the NBA. Most notably when he made a guest appearance on ESPN.
Man, ain't nobody worried about Chris Paul when he played Phoenix Suns. Nobody, man.
With Lillard, the beef started in the 2020 NBA bubble, when Beverley clapped over 2 of Lillard's missed free throws. He also mocked Lillard's Dame Time celebration, and Lillard responded on social media, calling him a con man, like Flip from above the rim. And Tyrese Halliburton shared the same feelings.
You're talking about. He called him Flip from above the rim, man.
Towards Beverley. In the middle of the 2024 Bucks-Pacers series, Beverley severely downplayed Halliburton's playmaking skills.
So what have you seen trying to defend Halliburton in this series?
Check the numbers. I think we shoot 19% from the three.
Hallie waited to respond, and once the Pacers took care of business and defeated Beverly's Bucks, he copy-pasted Lillard's con man tweet. But Pat Bev didn't rest there, and also has feuds with Austin Reeves, JJ Redick, and lately, even with a reporter who didn't subscribe to his podcast.
That was funny.
Subscribe to my podcast.
That was funny.
Do I subscribe? I do not.
So you can't interview me then. No disrespect.
Jamal is here.
You subscribe? Okay, cool.
Good skin to me is just getting my acne under control in a healthy way. I've been wanting a simplified and effective skincare routine.
And while we're talking about sensitive people, we can't forget about Mr. Sensitive himself, Dr. Shaquille O'Neal. Even in retirement, Shaq can't stand people who stand up to him without immediately mentioning his 4 rings and other accomplishments. The newest member of the Shaq Beef Club is Shannon Sharp, but the most notable example has to be JaVale McGee.
Just for old time's sake, can you say his name one time?
Yo, man, the beef between him and JaVale McGee is just hilarious to me. That's what JaVale McGee was on Shaq to the Fool like every episode.
After he repeatedly mocked him on Inside the NBA in his Shaq'd in a Fool segment, McGee responded that he's negatively impacting his career. O'Neal then responded by calling him a bum ass. McGee replied that Shaq was an old bastard. It got way uglier after that, with Kevin Durant stepping in to defend McGee, and it ultimately ended when Shaq's mother asked him to stop the foolishness and quit feuding with JaVale.
It didn't get out of hand, but my mother is someone who I love and respect, and she told me to stop it and don't bring it up again, so I'm not going to talk about it ever again. His name won't ever come out of my mouth ever again.
Of course, Shaq's most famous beef was with Kobe, who also had plenty of disagreements with other players over the years. Other than Shaq and Smush Parker, a teammate he disliked most was Dwight Howard, who never played or behaved up to Kobe's standards. So when he chose to sign with the Rockets in free agency, fireworks were almost guaranteed when they matched up, and Kobe didn't disappoint. After a hard foul from Dwight, Bryant exchanged a few choice words with his former center, daring him to do something and calling Howard soft. A very similar beef happened with Jimmy Butler, who didn't like the intensity of his teammates when he was in Minnesota. After he led the young Timberwolves to their first playoff berth in 14 years in 2018, Jimmy grew unhappy with Cat and especially Andrew Wiggins. Their professionalism and playing style rubbed Butler the wrong way, and he wasn't quiet about it. Butler called Towns and Wiggins soft and constantly trash-talked them, highlighted by the infamous practice when Jimmy defeated Cat and Wiggins with a bunch of bench players.
You were loud, emotional, passionate, we like to say, targeting Coach Tom Thibodeau, teammates like Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins, that you told GM Scott Layton, you effing need me. How would you describe what happened today?
A lot of it was true. The beef ultimately resulted in Butler's trade to the 76ers. But after he was gone, Jimmy kept talking trash to Wiggins and his brother on social media, forming a now famous phrase, keep that same energy. And Butler's most recent feud came at the expense of T.J. Warren, which started in the 2020 playoffs. The pair got tangled up during the game, exchanged some heated words, after which Warren got ejected, and Jimmy blew him a kiss as he walked off the court. The tension between the pair spilled over into the post-game press conferences, with Butler not mincing his words about his opponent.
He's not even in my open league, like nowhere near me. And if I was their coach, I would never put him on me ever again. He's like, no, put somebody else on me, because I'm a Taz every time. He's trash.
But unlike most of the players on this list
Dang,
who traded
dude.
barbs on the floor, another recent beef mostly happened through social media, and it was between former teammates. Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie briefly shared a locker room with the Washington Wizards during the 2021-22 season. However, after half a season, Dinwiddie got traded to the Mavericks, and he wasted no time to talk smack about his former teammate. After a game against Washington, which the Wizards won after a 30-point night from Kuzma, Dinwiddie played down Kuz's big night.
They're not playing for nothing for real. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, for them, it's a showcase. They over there trying to get paid. They're not trying to play winning basketball.
Naturally, Kuzma was not a fan of what Dinwiddie said, so he replied on Twitter. The funny thing is, they don't play winning basketball. Kuzma wrote, because the Mavs were also out of the playoff picture. But Dinwiddie didn't stop there, throwing shade at Kuzma's focus and work ethic.
I think if we look at, you know, him and the way he approaches life, fame, all that stuff, that we could see that, you know, his priorities tend to vary, right? Like, that's why he dressed the way he does. He, you know, approached basketball the way he does. But in DC, if you got 3 max dudes, Porzingis, Brad, and Kuz, like, how you miss the play? Like, it doesn't, none of these things make sense. You know what I'm saying? Unless your priorities aren't in order.
Of course, Kuz was quick to talk back. The Wizards and I have so much real estate on Din Shitty Island. This guy got signed by a team for over $60 million and was traded before
Wow.
the following season was over. What in the world have you won in this league? LOL, you've been bounced around like a basketball, my boy. And last but not least, we have another beef that had nothing to do with basketball.
Oh,
When
yeah, I
D'Angelo
remember this.
Russell played with Nick Young on the Lakers,
Schmitz.
Russell tried to prank Young by recording him when he talked about his romantic exploits, including cheating on his fiancée, Iggy Azalea.
I'm glad you told my video all that.
Not thinking about the consequences and foolishly believing it would all be one big ha-ha, Russell posted the video online, seriously breaching the locker room code and effectively ending Young's relationship with his fiancée.
You thought you had good ones. Then you got
All right,
snitched on. You found out that Russell snitched. God, Russell.
Of course, that didn't
That messed up, Kel. That was messed up, man. Kel don't care though.
sit too well with Swaggy P or any of his teammates. The NBA is one big brotherhood, and this was a severe breach of trust. D'Angelo was outcast by Young and the rest of the NBA, and it took a while to get respect back from the league. Thank you for watching Nonstop. And if you like this video, feel free.
Yo, alright, that's gonna do it for me, man. I appreciate you if you got this far. If you did, man, go watch them. That's Nonstop, bro. They got tons of good videos. I'm subscribed to them, so I'll be watching all the videos and everything. But you know what it is, man. Stay blessed. Be easy. Always keep God first, man. And we out of here, man.
Remember, always keep God first.